Have you ever noticed that you're working incredibly hard, like maybe clocking in way more hours than others, yet your bank account, it just kind of stays the same? Meanwhile, you see someone else doing, well, seemingly similar work, and they manage to build, real wealth.
Yeah, that paradox
Yeah.
it's exactly what Robert Kiyosaki dives into. The core idea he puts forward is pretty provocative, actually. He argues the difference isn't really how hard you work, it's more about the mindset you're operating with.
Right. So today we're taking a deep dive into the heart of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, focusing right on that central message: stop working for money and figure out how to make money work for you.
hmm And Kiyosaki sets this whole philosophy up using that famous contrast, right?
Right.
Between his two dads, his educated poor dad, the one with a government job. He really emphasized security. Study hard, get a good, safe job.
And that advice, get a good job, be safe. It sounds
Yeah.
so responsible, doesn't it? But if the goal is like true financial freedom, it seems the book suggests that advice might actually be, well, flawed.
That's exactly right. Fatally flawed, according to Kiyosaki, for building wealth. His successful rich dad, the one who didn't finish college, he completely flipped that idea. His teaching was simpler. Don't work for money, work to learn. And that clash, he says, defines the biggest financial split in society.
Okay, so if it's not just about effort or getting a higher salary, how do we actually start shifting that mindset, practically speaking?
Well, it starts with how you approach money problems. Like when faced with something they couldn't afford, the poor dad's immediate reaction was just resignation, right? I can't afford this.
Which just shuts the door, doesn't it? If you just accept that, you stop looking for ways around it.
Exactly. The rich dad taught him to rephrase it, make it an active question. Okay, how can I afford this?
Right.
That little mental switch, that reframing, it's the gateway to the first big lesson. You got to work to learn. Learn skills, learn financial concepts, not just chase the next paycheck. Otherwise, you're just a slave to money your whole life.
And that focus on learning, that brings us to maybe the book's most famous idea, and maybe the most challenging one, the whole asset versus liability thing.
Oh, yeah, this is where a lot of people get tripped up. The definitions he uses are really strict. An asset simply puts money in your pocket. Think like a business that runs itself, or a rental property bringing in cash, maybe dividend stocks. A liability, anything that takes money out of your pocket.
Okay, wait a second, though. Kiyosaki uses that really provocative example here, doesn't he? About your own home. For decades, we've all been told our house is our biggest asset. Is he really saying that's like a delusion?
He is, absolutely. If you own a home,
Right.
right, and it doesn't generate any income,
Mm-hmm.
but it costs you money every month, mortgage payments, property taxes, repairs, then functionally, he says, it's a liability. It's taking money out of your pocket. The rich, they do it the other way around. They build up their assets first. Then they use the income from those assets to buy the luxuries, like maybe a bigger house.
Wow. So the poor and middle class work for money, then use it to buy liabilities they think are assets, while the rich make money work for them, building actual assets. This whole strategy seems to require a kind of financial education that, frankly, school just doesn't give you.
It really does.
Yeah.
School teaches us how to be good employees, how to work for money, but not really how to manage it. Or, more importantly, how to understand things like taxes, investing, recognizing assets. Without that crucial financial knowledge, the system kind of keeps you busy, But it doesn't necessarily make you wealthy. Investing in your financial mind, your education, that's key.
And fear. Fear must be a huge obstacle there, right? The poor dad says, play it safe, don't take risks. But the rich dad's view was more like, you have to understand risk and then manage it.
Yeah, and what's really interesting there is his take on failure. Kiyosaki basically says failure crushes losers, but it inspires winners. It's part of the learning process. You have to actually do things, take action, even if you're scared, because every time something doesn't work out, it's a lesson learned.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does this mean for you listening right now? Wealth doesn't really start with getting a bigger paycheck. It starts with changing how you think about money, how you make financial decisions. The core difference seems to be the poor and middle class work for their money, while the rich build systems, businesses, real estate portfolios, stock investments that make money for them, like 24/7.
Exactly. Achieving that financial freedom isn't just about getting a raise. It's about becoming the owner of those income-generating systems.
So since investing in your financial knowledge is the real key here, maybe here's a thought to leave you with. Don't feel like you have to wait until you've saved up some huge amount to start. Maybe start investing just a small amount today. But crucially, focus on learning how these systems actually work. Start making money work towards your dreams, not just constantly chasing to cover the bills.